So, in the classic Chinese epic Journey to the West, our hero, Sun Wukong, faces countless demons. But get this, his most terrifying opponent wasn't some monster from the outside. Nope, it was a monster that came from within. And that's really the central question of this incredible chapter. It's a story all about confronting the darkest parts of ourselves. You know, the rage, the resentment, and all those violent impulses we try so hard to keep locked away. All right, so our story kicks off with the four pilgrims. You've got the monk Tang Sanzang and his disciples Sun Wukong, Zhu Baji, and Sha Wujing. And they are just weary and totally exhausted on their long journey to India. So as they're traveling through this super dense forest, bam! Two fierce bandits just leap out from the bushes. The master, Tang Sanzang, is so terrified he literally falls right off his horse. The robbers waste no time, they tie him to a tree and start demanding money for his passage.
But just then, the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, arrives. Now, you gotta understand, for Wukong, protecting his master is his one and only purpose. So seeing him tied up like that, it is the ultimate insult. He doesn't just see a threat, he sees this profound disrespect, and his fury just boils over.
The fight is over in an instant. With just a few swings of his golden hoop staff, Wukong kills both bandits. In his mind, problem solved. But for his master, the real trouble has just begun.
You'd think his master would be thankful, right? Wrong. Instead of thanking his protector, the master is absolutely horrified. As a devout Buddhist monk, he believes all life is sacred. He doesn't see a necessary defense. All he sees is a disciple committing the terrible sin of killing.
And this argument, this whole debate over violence versus compassion, is just getting started. The very next day, the tension that's been simmering between the master and his disciple is about to explode. So, the master's lecture on nonviolence gets put to the test almost immediately. The next day, the comrades of the men Wukong killed come pouring out of the woods, armed and looking for revenge. This isn't just a robbery anymore. This is a vendetta.
But Wukong, he is in his element. To him, this isn't some deep moral crisis, it's a chance to prove his strength and protect his master. He just sees the bandits as nothing more than an obstacle to be smashed, and he leaps into the fight, loving every second of it.
What follows is a scene of just total carnage. Wukong unleashes his full power, and the bandits are utterly decimated. But while Wukong sees this as protecting his master, Tang Sanzang is over there just trembling with anger and fear.
And this is the absolute core of their conflict. Wukong operates on a principle of brutal, pragmatic justice. They were evil, so they deserved to die. Simple as that. But Sanzang sees a disciple who has completely lost his way, a protector who has become a monster he can no longer travel with. And that's it. This is the final straw. The master starts chanting the golden hoop mantra, a spell that causes the magical headband on Wukong's head to tighten, inflicting this unbearable, agonizing pain. And as Wukong is writhing on the ground, he's told he's no longer part of the group. He has to leave. With the group's most powerful protector banished, the pilgrims are incredibly vulnerable. And in the very next stage of their journey, their worst fears are realized in a way they could never, ever have imagined. The real Sun Wukong, completely heartbroken, flies off to the bodhisattva Guanyin for advice. But back on the road, the pilgrims look up and see Sun Wukong, blocking their path. But wait, how can this be?
This imposter doesn't say a word. He just walks up to the master, strikes him with his staff, knocking him out cold, and then vanishes with all their belongings. This is an act of shocking cruelty. For all his violence, the real Wukong is fiercely loyal. Attacking the master is the one line he would never, ever cross.
So the crucial point now is figuring out who, or maybe what, this imposter really is. And the answer reveals the true nature of Sun Wukong's greatest battle.
When the real Wukong learns what happened, he tracks the fake to his own home, the Water Curtain Cave. And there he finds the imposter sitting on his throne, with the master tied up nearby. The two identical monkeys face off.
Their battle is absolutely epic. It rages from the earth all the way to the heavens. Their powers and skills are so perfectly matched that not even the gods can tell them apart. It takes the wisdom of the Buddha himself to finally see through the deception. And with the imposter's identity revealed, the real Wukong strikes a final, decisive blow. It wasn't just another demon. It was a six-eared macaque, a creature described as Sun Wukong's heart devil. Think about that. This wasn't an external enemy, it was a physical manifestation of Wukong's own inner darkness.
This macaque represented everything Wukong was struggling with: his bitterness at being punished, his love of violence, and his rebellious spirit that just resisted the discipline of the pilgrimage. By killing this double, Wukong was literally killing the worst parts of himself.
This whole saga is just a masterclass in conflicting ethics. To really get it, we need to lay out the different moral philosophies we've just seen in action. So as you can see, we have three competing moralities at play here. You've got Tang Sanzang's absolute pacifism, where any killing is a sin, no matter the context. Then there's Wukong's very pragmatic view: the ends justify the means, and eliminating evil protects the innocent. But the Bodhisattva offers a more nuanced middle way. She draws this critical line between supernatural evil and flawed humanity, suggesting that while demons must be fought, mortals, even the wicked ones, deserve a chance at redemption, not summary execution.
So, what's the ultimate lesson from this violent, confusing, and really profound ordeal? What did it all really mean for the Monkey King?
You see, this wasn't just some random detour, it was a necessary trial. By physically confronting and destroying his own heart devil, Wukong purified his mind. He was finally able to tame his inner chaos, reconcile with his master, and truly commit to the spiritual journey. This moment is what sets him on the final path to becoming the fighting Buddha.
And this ancient story leaves us with a pretty modern question. We all have a heart devil, a part of ourselves driven by anger, resentment, or ego that holds us back. The journey to enlightenment, or even just to be in a better version of ourselves, requires us to face that devil. So the question is, what's the inner demon you need to confront to truly move forward?